Well, hey everyone, this is Rick. In today's video, we're going to take a seemingly complex jazz lick from a recording and boil it down to its bare essentials so then you can learn to play it. To do this, we're going to use a two-measure phrase that was a part of a solo I recorded on a previous video. Speaking of which, if this is my first video that you've seen, then this ties in directly to two other videos of mine on this YouTube channel. One called Sax Solo Lessons, So What? And one called Learn a Jazz Solo by Ear. Alright, so let's get right down into it. Alright, so we're looking at the transcription of this solo. Here's the E-flat transposition. I also have it in B-flat, and you can download the PDFs for both of these from my website, and there should be a link to the website over on the right-hand side of the page now in the More Info box. So we're going to scroll down to the end of this chorus. I'll start the music about where it says last A, and the lick in question for today is this one. It measures 29 and 30. All right, we're going to work to simplify this for you. Here we go. All right, so let's look at a different page where I've isolated that for you. Here we go. And these blue circled notes you see here are what I'm calling the target notes. They kind of define the contour of the line. Be dum 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 dum. And then each of these has what I call a launching note, because it launches you right into it. And we're going to boil this entire thing down just to this up and down figure, if you will. Where it goes bee boo dee boo dee boo dee boo dee boo da. We're going to listen to that and see if we can hear that. We're trying to hear through all of these notes into the real essence of this phrase here. Here it comes. Bee boo dee boo dee boo dee boo dee boo dee. If you can boil it down to that, then you've really captured the essence of what that phrase is. And all the other notes are just ornamentation. And it's just like hearing a language. When you hear words that may seem complex, they might have lots of letters in them, we don't really think about the individual letters. We think about just the syllables and the pronunciation of those syllables. And so we don't want to think about these inside notes. And so let's take a look at one more page here. So here it is, basically with those inside notes, the glissando notes, all removed and boiled down to the essence of this figure. Bee boo dee boo dee boo dee boo dee boo da. So what you ought to do if you're trying to learn to play this is practice the boiled down version that you see here. And get the timing of that down and the shape of that down. And when you're comfortable with that, you really will have captured the essence of it. And if you want to take it to the next level, then go ahead and add back in those other pitches. And that's just a little bit of rote, repetitive practice just to get your fingers to do those glissandos. And just make sure that since they're not really that audible when you listen to the recording, those glissando notes, that you just roll over them and don't put a lot of weight on the notes. So instead of ba diddle lee diddle lee diddle, where you're really heavy on them, just gloss beedle dee dee dee, just like you hear it on the recording. Now I believe this happens one other time earlier in this chorus. Let's just find that. I'm going to scroll back up, and we're at the second A now, and it happens right here. But this is easy because it's only one little statement of it as opposed to 4 or 5 in a row. So you would boil this down to your top target note here, and then your launching note on the bottom. Bee boo bee ba boo bee dee da, bee boo dee ba doo bee dee da. Or don't exactly remember the timing of that. Something like that. And this figure is actually very idiomatic bebop, hard-bop line. I'm sure I absorbed it from Cannonball, Adderley, most specifically. But of course, Charlie Parker played things very much like this as well, and all of the other saxophone players in that lineage. Well, that's all I have for today's video. If you have a question, drop me a note and I'll be glad to try to help you out. And if you think of it, leave me a rating and a comment. Best of luck!